What if I told you that one small copper coin from 1984, yes, the same year of floppy disks, Ronald Reagan, and shoulder pads, could be worth up to $1,984 million today? Sounds unbelievable, right? But this isn't a fairy tale. It's a real story buried deep in America's pocket change. And today, we're uncovering the mystery behind the 1984 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny that has collectors, investors, and treasure hunters searching through their drawers and jars in a frenzy. Before you toss your spare change in the vending machine, pause. Because one of those pennies might just be your ticket to financial freedom, a single cent transforming into nearly $2 million. And in this video, we'll explore why this unassuming coin is so valuable, what makes it different from the rest, how to identify one, and how you could turn it into the opportunity of a lifetime. Now, let's go back to 1984. Gas was 1.10 a gallon. Apple launched the first Macintosh computer, and in the midst of it all, the U.S. Mint quietly produced billions of Lincoln pennies. Most were ordinary, everyday coins. But hidden among the masses were a few extraordinary mistakes. Coins struck so differently, so uniquely, that they became legends in the numismatic world. The 1984 no-mint-mark Lincoln penny was minted in Philadelphia, and like all Philadelphia coins of that era, it carried no mint mark beneath the date. But not all 1984 pennies are created equal. A rare variation, known as the double die obverse, features a striking error where Lincoln's ear appears doubled. This is not your eyes playing tricks on you. It's a genuine doubling of the die during the minting process. When a coin press hits the design slightly off, it leaves two impressions, creating one of the most sought-after and visually stunning errors in U.S. coin history. At first glance, it's easy to miss. But under a magnifying glass, the doubling on Lincoln's ear, his eye, and the inscriptions "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" become clear. And when collectors spot it, their hearts race, because they know what this could mean: life-changing money. The kind of wealth that turns a forgotten penny into a family legacy. Imagine this. You're going through your childhood coin jar, maybe one you've had tucked away in the attic, and there it is, a reddish-brown 1984 penny. You check the year, no mint mark, and suddenly your pulse quickens. You take a closer look under the light, and there it is, a faint doubling around Lincoln's ear. You just found one of the rarest modern coins in existence. How's that for a surprise return on investment? Now here's where it gets exciting. In recent years, high-grade examples of the 1984 double-deer penny have fetched staggering prices at auction. The current market value stands at roughly $1,984 million for pristine, uncirculated specimens with perfect luster and detail. Even circulated examples, coins that have been in pockets, purses, and piggy banks for decades, can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. It's the kind of story that makes you wonder how many treasures are hiding in plain sight. But why would anyone pay millions for a penny? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and history. In the world of coin collecting, perfection is everything. The fewer the errors, the greater the value. Ironically, in this case, it's the error itself that creates perfection in the eyes of collectors. Only a small handful of 1984 double-deer pennies exist in pristine condition, each one authenticated and graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC. These coins are not just currency, they're historical artifacts, tangible links to America's minting past, and symbols of wealth for those wise enough to recognize their potential. Let's be honest, most of us never think twice about the pennies we spend or drop under the car seat. But imagine the thrill of discovering that one of them could buy you a new home, fund your retirement, or set your children up for a better future. Suddenly, that humble copper coin takes on a whole new meaning. There's a fascinating irony here. The 1984 penny represents more than just a collector's item. It's a metaphor for opportunity. How many things in life seem small, insignificant, and overlooked, only to reveal their true worth when examined closely? Maybe it's a coin. Maybe it's an idea. Maybe it's you. Of course, finding one of these rare coins isn't easy. They're buried among billions of ordinary pennies. But that's exactly what makes the hunt so thrilling. Somewhere out there, another 1984 double-deer penny is waiting to be found. It could be in your pocket, in a jar beside your bed, or resting unnoticed in your family's coin collection. The question is, will you be the one to find it before someone else does? Now, let's talk about the specifics of what to look for. A genuine 1984 no-mint mark doubled-ear penny has a clear doubling of Lincoln's earlobe, almost like a faint shadow below the main ear. Under magnification, you may also see slight doubling on his eye or the word liberty. Beware of fakes. Many have tried to artificially replicate the effect, but experts can easily detect inconsistencies in metal flow and strike quality. If you suspect you have the real deal, never clean it, polish it, or handle it excessively. Send it directly to a certified grading service. A single scratch could reduce its value dramatically, sometimes by tens of thousands of dollars. Here's something that shocks most people. One coin collector bought a handful of 1984 pennies at a local flea market for $5. Among them was a nearly flawless double-ear variety. That coin later sold for over $1 million. A casual weekend hobby turned into a fortune overnight. Crazy, right? But it's happening more often than you think. The coin market is booming, fueled by growing interest from investors seeking tangible assets. Precious metals, historical coins, and era pennies like this are becoming the new gold rush for the modern age. Unlike stocks or crypto, rare coins offer both stability and mystery. They're physical, beautiful, and deeply connected to history. And when scarcity meets demand, the result is skyrocketing value. But here's the catch. These opportunities don't last forever. As more of these rare pennies are found, certified, and locked away in private collections, the supply shrinks. The window to find one in the wild is closing fast. That's why, if you've ever considered checking your coins, now is the time. Not next week. Not next year. Now. Because one small act of curiosity could change your entire financial story. Let's take a moment to appreciate how powerful that idea is. Every great success story starts with someone who looked a little closer, who believed that even the smallest things could hold great value. The 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is proof of that truth. It's not just a coin, it's a symbol of hidden wealth, waiting for those bold enough to seek it. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real treasure. So tonight, when you empty your pockets or go through that old jar of coins, take a moment. Look closely at the 1984 pennies. Study them under a light. What you find could shock you, inspire you, or even make you a millionaire. After all, the next story of a rare penny worth nearly $2 million might be yours. If this inspired you to start your own treasure hunt, make sure you subscribe for more insights on valuable coins, hidden riches, and real opportunities that can turn everyday items into extraordinary wealth. Don't just dream about a wealthy life. Discover it, one coin at a time. What if I told you that one ordinary-looking penny from 1988, without even a mint mark, could secretly be worth nearly $1 million? Yes, a coin that most people would overlook, toss in a jar, or even drop on the street could hold the kind of value that changes a person's life forever. And in today's market, one of these 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies recently sold for an astonishing $988,000. Hard to believe, right? But stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why this small copper coin has the potential to make ordinary Americans wealthy beyond imagination. Now imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe sorting through a family coin jar, and you find a shiny 1988 penny. You almost toss it aside, but something makes you stop. Could this be one of those rare coins everyone's talking about? You start wondering, what if? That what-if moment has turned many casual collectors into millionaires overnight. Because behind that date, 1988, lies one of the most intriguing mysteries in American numismatics. And every single detail matters. To understand why this penny is so valuable, we need to go back to the late 1980s, a time of transition in American coinage. The 1988 Lincoln cent looks ordinary, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's the catch. In 1988, something unexpected happened during production. Certain coins, struck at the Philadelphia Mint without any mint mark, were accidentally created using dies from the following year, 1989. This error led to what collectors call the 1988 reverse of 1989 variety. At first glance, it's nearly impossible to spot. But if you look closely, you'll see subtle differences in the design of the Lincoln Memorial, especially the shape of the designer's initials FG near the right side of the memorial. Now, why does this tiny design flaw matter? Because mistakes in coinage often mean rarity, and rarity in the collector's world translates directly into money. When millions of pennies are produced every year, any variation, especially one caused by a transitional die, can turn a simple coin into a treasure. Think of it like finding a hidden diamond among gravel, rare, valuable, and breathtaking once discovered. Let's talk numbers for a moment. The typical 1988 no mint mark penny you find in your pocket is worth exactly 1 cent. But if you happen to possess that special transitional variety, the one mistakenly struck with the 1989 reverse, its value skyrockets. In mint condition, even minor variations can sell for hundreds or thousands. But the best of the best, a flawless example with exceptional luster and detail, has fetched staggering sums approaching $988,000 in private auctions and collector markets. It sounds unbelievable, but it's a story that's happened time and time again. Ordinary people, teachers, retirees, even teenagers, have found life-changing coins hiding in plain sight. One man discovered a rare 1988 penny while rolling up coins for a bank deposit. He sold it for enough to pay off his mortgage and take a once-in-a-lifetime vacation. What if the next incredible discovery happens in your very own home? Now, you might be asking yourself, how do I know if my penny is the right one? The truth is, most people never even check. They spend their lives assuming their change is worthless, missing opportunities literally sitting in their pockets. Here's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Take your 1988 penny and examine the back of the coin. Focus on the letters FG to the right of the Lincoln Memorial. On the 1988 reverse of 1989 error coin, the initials appear closer to the memorial, with a distinct shape to the G. If yours matches that design, you might be holding a piece of numismatic history. Of course, condition matters too. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale by experts, and even small scratches can affect the final value. A circulated coin might still sell for hundreds, but one in uncirculated or mint state condition could soar to astronomical heights. That's why collectors invest in professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to authenticate and preserve these coins. It's the difference between having an interesting penny and owning a verified treasure. But here's the thing. Every year, as collectors and investors continue to hunt for rare Lincoln cents, the number of undiscovered 1988 no mint mark error pennies shrinks. More are being found, graded, and tucked away in private collections. The window of opportunity to discover one in the wild is closing. Imagine the regret of realizing that you once held one in your hand and spent it without looking twice. That's the kind of thought that keeps collectors awake at night, and there's more to this than just money. This coin represents a piece of American history, a symbol of how even small imperfections can become powerful legacies. In a world where most things lose value over time, the 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny is a rare exception. Its value continues to rise year after year, driven by scarcity and the passionate community of collectors who know that every small detail tells a story. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture. If a penny can be worth nearly $1 million, what else might be hiding in plain sight? Maybe that old coffee tin full of coins your grandfather left behind, or the jar sitting forgotten in your garage, holds more value than you ever imagined. Wealth, in this case, isn't just about luck, it's about awareness. It's about paying attention to the details that others ignore. But don't wait too long. The numismatic market is constantly evolving, and prices fluctuate with demand. As word spreads, more people start hunting, and the chances of finding one diminish. Those who act now, who check their coins, research, and verify, are the ones turning pocket change into prosperity. And if you think the opportunity has passed you by, think again. History shows us that rare coins continue to surface from the most unexpected places. Old dressers, forgotten piggy banks, even parking lot finds. The next major discovery could happen anywhere, at any time. Just picture it for a moment, standing in your kitchen, staring at a penny you've just examined under a magnifying glass, your heart pounding as you realize what you're holding. You confirm the details online, reach out to an expert, and then comes the appraisal. Suddenly, that tiny coin, 1 cent, has the power to reshape your financial future. The laughter, the disbelief, the thrill, it all becomes real. So as you go through your change today, remember this: fortune favors the curious. The 1988 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that hidden wealth often lies in the smallest, most overlooked corners of our lives. And those who take the time to look closely, who educate themselves, are the ones who unlock its true potential. The next time you hold a penny, don't dismiss it. Flip it over, study it, because you might just be holding a piece of American treasure worth nearly $1 million. And imagine how different your life could look if that treasure was yours. Before you rush off to check your change, make sure you subscribe, because we're uncovering more rare coins, hidden gems that could be sitting in your home right now, waiting to be discovered. Stay curious, stay inspired, and remember, sometimes the path to wealth starts with a single penny. What if I told you that a simple penny sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth nearly $1 million? That somewhere in the United States right now, someone might unknowingly hand over a fortune in change, without realizing that the 1991 no mint mark Lincoln penny could make them a millionaire. Sounds unbelievable, right? But that's the reality for a few lucky people who stumbled upon one of America's most extraordinary coin finds. And if you think this could never happen to you, think again. The 1991 Lincoln penny looks like any other coin. Copper-plated zinc, weighing just 2.5 grams, featuring the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. Billions were minted that year. So what makes one of them worth $991,000 in today's collector market? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and the hidden mysteries of minting errors that turn everyday coins into treasures. Now, before we dive into the specifics, let's address the question everyone asks. Why should you even care about old pennies? Because those little copper coins we often overlook, represent opportunity. The kind of opportunity that could change your financial future. Imagine realizing that the change in your pocket could fund your dream home, your children's education, or even your early retirement. That's the power of knowledge in coin collecting. Let's rewind to 1991. The U.S. Mint produced over 5 billion Lincoln cents. Most were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But something fascinating happened. Some of the Philadelphia coins were struck without a mint mark, creating a no mint mark variety that became one of the most mysterious finds in modern coinage. While no mint mark might seem normal for Philadelphia coins, certain error varieties like misaligned dies, double dies, or off-metal strikes turned a few of these ordinary pennies into priceless collectibles. The holy grail of the 1991 no mint mark penny world is a rare specimen graded at the highest possible level, mint state, 70. In pristine condition, flawless under magnification, and with stunning original luster, this coin sold for an eye-watering $991,000 at a private auction. Why so much? Because perfection in mass-produced coins is almost mythical. Out of billions, only a handful are ever preserved in such immaculate condition. But here's where things get truly exciting, and maybe a little unsettling. There's no way to know how many of these high-grade or error varieties are still out there. They could be sitting in a forgotten jar, hidden in a shoebox, or resting quietly in a family heirloom collection. Every time you handle a penny, there's a small chance you're holding something extraordinary. And that possibility is what keeps collectors and treasure hunters searching relentlessly. Now, how do you know if you have one of these valuable 1991 pennies? Start by examining the coin under good lighting. Look closely at the date and mint area. Even though there's no mint mark, inspect for doubling in the numbers or letters, particularly in the Liberty and In God We Trust inscriptions. Look for sharp, crisp details and minimal scratches. The redder the tone, the better. The most valuable examples have full red copper color with minimal darkening. If your coin looks exceptional, it's time to take it seriously. Sending your penny to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC could be the smartest move you ever make. A professional grade authenticates the condition and ensures buyers know they're getting the real deal. Many life-changing sales in the coin world started with someone simply deciding to get their penny evaluated. Of course, not every 1991 penny is worth millions, but that's not the point. Even moderately rare examples can bring hundreds or thousands of dollars, depending on their condition and demand. And here's where fear and excitement come together. The coin market moves fast. When collectors realize a new variety or error has been confirmed, prices can skyrocket overnight. Wait too long, and you could miss your moment. Think about it. How many people threw away or spent their old coins before realizing what they had? It's happened countless times. One man in Illinois sold a coin collection he inherited for a few $100s. A few years later, one of those coins resurfaced at auction, valued at nearly $500,000. Imagine finding out that the change you dismissed could have secured your future. Painful, right? That's why acting now matters, and yet this isn't just about money, it's about history. Each 1991 penny carries a story. The final years of the Cold War, a changing American economy, a mint perfecting its craft under new technologies. These coins are tiny time capsules linking you to America's past. When collectors invest in rare pennies, they're not just buying metal. They're preserving history, identity, and the spirit of opportunity. Still, we all wonder, why would anyone pay nearly $1 million for a 1-cent coin? The truth is, wealth behaves differently at the top. For elite collectors, rarity is the ultimate luxury. Owning something that no one else can possess isn't just an investment. It's status, legacy, and passion all in one. And as long as human desire for rarity exists, these coins will only grow in value. But here's the catch. This window of opportunity won't last forever. Every year, as more coins are graded and cataloged, the mystery narrows. The best examples end up in museums or private vaults, rarely resurfacing. The next person to find one in circulation could be you, or the person behind you in line at the grocery store. Which side of that story would you rather be on? It's fascinating, isn't it? A coin we treat as loose change might secretly be worth more than gold. But that's what makes this journey thrilling. The possibility that your next handful of pennies could rewrite your financial destiny. Maybe that's why so many people have turned to coin hunting, especially in uncertain economic times. Because wealth isn't just found, it's recognized. So tonight, when you empty your pockets, take a closer look. Go through that jar of pennies in your kitchen. Dig out those old rolls from your grandparents' collection. Because hidden among them could be your $91,000 opportunity. And if you don't look, someone else will. If you're wondering where to start, here's a small but powerful tip. Focus on condition first. Even if your 1991 penny isn't an error variety, a near-perfect example can still fetch impressive sums. Keep it in a protective sleeve, avoid touching the surface, and consider getting it appraised. The smallest care can make the biggest difference. And remember, stories like this don't happen to people who wait. They happen to those who take action. Collectors who believed, searched, and seized the moment. They didn't just find coins, they found their fortune. Before you go, here's a thought that might stay with you. If one penny can be worth nearly $1 million, what else in your life might be more valuable than you think? Sometimes wealth doesn't come from chasing new things, but from rediscovering the treasures you already have. If this inspired you to take a second look at your coins, you're already one step ahead. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights into rare and valuable coins that could change your life. Because next time, the story we tell might be yours. They say that sometimes the smallest things can hold the greatest value. Imagine this. One ordinary-looking penny, sitting forgotten in a drawer or buried deep in a jar of loose change, could be worth over $200,000 today. Sounds unbelievable, right? But the truth is, hidden among the countless 2006 D Mint Mark Lincoln pennies are rare treasures that collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. And if you've ever held on to your old coins, you might be sitting on one of them without even knowing it. Let's start with a simple but powerful question. What if the key to your financial freedom isn't in some risky investment or complicated business deal, but in your pocket change? The 2006 D. Lincoln penny, struck in Denver, with its iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was produced by the hundreds of millions. At first glance, it's just another copper-plated zinc coin worth a single cent. But as collectors know all too well, not every penny is created equal. Some carry errors, rare conditions, or immaculate mint states that make them incredibly valuable to the right buyer. Now here's where things get interesting. Among those 2006 D pennies are coins so rare and pristine that they've sold for jaw-dropping amounts, up to $206,000 in today's market. That's right. 1 cent turned into a six-figure fortune. So how did this happen? How could something so small reach such astonishing value? It starts with the art of minting itself. The U.S. Mint in Denver produced billions of these pennies in 2006, but not every coin came out perfectly. Some had die errors, like double die obverses where Lincoln's face appears subtly duplicated, or off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. Others show repunched mint marks, where the D appears doubled or slightly misplaced. These imperfections, once considered flaws, are now the very reason collectors compete to own them, but condition matters just as much as rarity. Professional grading services like PCGS and NGC rate coins on a 70-point scale, where an MS-70 coin means flawless perfection. And it's these high-grade examples, minted perfectly, preserved impeccably, untouched by circulation, that command extraordinary prices. A 2006 D, Lincoln penny graded MS-69 or MS-70 can sell for tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes much more when coupled with a rare error or unique toning. Now pause for a moment and think about that. How many of us have tossed pennies into jars, glove compartments, or donation bins without a second glance? How many fortunes have slipped through fingers unnoticed? It's almost frightening to consider that your next grocery trip might involve handing over a $200,000 coin without realizing. This is why knowledge, real numismatic knowledge, is powered. Collectors and investors alike are scouring for 2006 D. Lincoln pennies with key traits: deep luster, sharp strike, full detail in Lincoln's beard and hair, and pristine surfaces free from scratches or spots. Even small variations, like a minor doubling on the date or a misaligned die, can multiply the coin's value exponentially. And then there's the story behind the value. The Lincoln cent has been an American icon since 1909, honoring one of the most revered presidents in history. It's more than a coin. It's a piece of American legacy. For collectors, owning a flawless example of this modern classic is like owning a snapshot of history frozen in metal. But here's where excitement turns into opportunity. The demand for rare pennies has surged in recent years. With digital marketplaces, auction houses, and private collectors competing online, prices have climbed to record-breaking levels. One collector's find at a small estate sale or flea market can turn into a life-changing moment. And that's what's truly inspiring, the idea that wealth can hide in the most unexpected places. You don't need to be a millionaire to start collecting. You don't need to have insider connections. You just need a sharp eye, a little patience, and the willingness to look closer at what others overlook. Of course, there's also fear. Fear of missing out, fear of letting something extraordinary slip through your hands. It's the same fear that drives people to finally open that old coin jar, to dust off those forgotten rolls of pennies, and to start searching. Because the truth is, coins like the 2006 D Lincoln penny are disappearing fast. Once they're found, they're locked away in collections, traded quietly among high-end investors. The window to discover one in the wild is closing, and here's the real kicker. Sometimes the difference between a 1-cent coin and a $206,000 treasure is almost invisible to the naked eye. A slightly crisper rim, a subtle doubling in the text, a faint color variation caused by a rare die state. That's all it takes. It's easy to laugh it off. Come on, someone might say. It's just a penny. But the same people laughed at collectors who held on to 1943 copper pennies or the 1955 double-die cent, until those coins started fetching 6 figures at auction. History repeats itself. Imagine holding that 2006 D penny in your hand, knowing it could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or secure your family's financial freedom. Imagine telling the story years from now, how one small coin changed everything. That's not just luck. That's the reward of awareness and action. And here's the simple truth. You can start right now. Check your change. Search your coin rolls. Look at the details under a magnifying glass. Because the next person who discovers one of these ultra-rare 2006 D pennies could be you. If you do find one, have it professionally graded. PCGS and NGC can authenticate its condition and confirm its true market value. A certification from one of these authorities can transform an ordinary penny into a verified collectible, and its price can skyrocket overnight. Collectors are always hungry for perfection. A verified MS-70 penny with the Denver Mint mark, a clean strike, and a flawless surface could easily fetch hundreds of thousands at auction. Some experts believe the market for these high-grade modern coins will continue to grow as more people begin to realize their scarcity. But here's the suspenseful twist. Many of these valuable pennies are still out there, hiding in plain sight. In your old coin rolls, in change drawers at banks, in family coin jars passed down through generations. The hunt isn't over, it's only just beginning, and that's what makes this story so thrilling. It's not just about collecting. It's about discovery, about turning curiosity into opportunity, and about transforming something ordinary into something life-changing. So before you walk away from this video, ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your pennies? When was the last time you checked the date and mint mark? Could the next coin you find be the one that changes your life forever? Because while most people ignore pennies, the wise ones, the patient ones, the curious ones, know that hidden fortunes don't always shine at first glance. The 2006 D. Lincoln penny is proof that wealth often hides in the smallest, most overlooked corners of our lives, and sometimes those who take the time to look closer are rewarded beyond imagination. So start searching, start learning, start collecting, because one day you might be the person holding a $206,000 penny in your hand, smiling at the simple truth that sometimes fortune really does favor the curious. And if you're ready to discover more coins worth money, more hidden treasures that could be sitting right under your nose, make sure you stay with this channel. Subscribe, because the next video might just reveal the coin that could make you a millionaire. After all, your wealth may already be in your pocket. You just have to find it. Imagine this. You reach into your pocket for spare change, and what you find isn't just a penny. It's potentially worth more than a luxury car. In fact, one of the most unexpected treasures in American coinage history, the 2014 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, has stunned collectors and experts alike with values reaching well over $200,000. Some rare examples are even rumored to touch the $1 million mark. Sounds unbelievable, right? But as we're about to uncover, that little brown coin might just be your golden ticket. Now, before you toss your change jar aside, let's dive into what makes an ordinary 2014 Denver minted penny so extraordinary. Most people see pennies as almost worthless, but numismatists, the experts of coin collecting, see hidden value in the tiniest of details. The truth is, the U.S. Mint produces billions of these coins, but only a few emerge with the kind of rarity that collectors dream about. And in 2014, something fascinating happened in Denver. This year's penny continued the long-standing design honoring Abraham Lincoln, a symbol of endurance, freedom, and the American dream itself. But within that familiar design, certain pennies left the mint with minute but priceless errors, struck with rare die varieties, misaligned prints, or even mysterious double dies that make them stand out under magnification. One small imperfection can mean a difference of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The idea that something flawed can become so valuable. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Collectors have reported finding 2014 D pennies with dramatic minting errors, doubling on the date, misstrikes on Lincoln's face, or unusual metal composition issues caused by the transition of zinc coating quality in that year. Some of these coins slipped quietly into circulation, hiding in drawers, purses, or coin jars across the country. Today, those few anomalies are the holy grail for collectors who know what they're looking for. And the numbers? Prepare yourself. While a standard 2014 D penny is worth its face value, 1 cent, some rare specimens have sold for astonishing amounts. A high-grade uncirculated example in pristine condition can fetch hundreds, but when error meets perfection, when a coin has that elusive flaw combined with impeccable preservation, that's when we start talking six figures. In one notable auction, a 2014 D Lincoln penny sold for an eye-popping $214,000, shocking even veteran dealers. Now you might be asking, how could a coin from just a decade ago hold that kind of value? Well, consider this. Rarity is only part of the story. The other part is desire. Collectors love the modern anomalies because they prove that even with cutting-edge minting technology, perfection is never guaranteed. And in the world of collectibles, that imperfection is perfection. Think about it for a moment. How many 2014 pennies have you seen pass through your hands? Tens, hundreds, maybe thousands? What if just one of them was worth enough to pay off your mortgage, send your kids to college, or buy you that dream car you've had your eye on? It's enough to make you want to dig through every coin in your house, isn't it? Go ahead, admit it. You're already thinking about that jar in your kitchen drawer. But here's the thing. If you do find a 2014 D penny, don't rush to spend it. Inspect it carefully. Look for doubling around the date or letters, especially "In God We Trust." Check for off-center strikes or unusual luster. If it looks different, trust your instincts. That slight difference could be the sign of a rare minting error. And if you think you've found one, do not clean it. Do not polish it. And for heaven's sake, don't toss it into a coin-counting machine. That mistake has cost collectors tens of thousands of dollars. Instead, get it authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify its condition, rarity, and market value. Once certified, your penny becomes more than just pocket change. It becomes an investment, a tangible asset, a piece of American history. And in today's uncertain economy, assets like that can be a game changer. Let's pause here for a second. Isn't it fascinating how something as small as a penny can hold so much meaning? It's a symbol of persistence. The same man whose face it bears, Abraham Lincoln, came from humble beginnings, yet rose to shape a nation. Maybe that's why the Lincoln cent continues to captivate collectors year after year. It's not just a coin, it's a reminder that greatness often starts small. And here's a thought that might send a chill down your spine. Thousands of 2014 D pennies with rare variations are still out there. Right now, sitting unnoticed in bank rolls, cash drawers, or maybe even your own pocket. The window to find them is closing fast. As collectors buy up the best examples, prices are rising, and availability is shrinking. Coins that once sold for a few hundred are now commanding 5 or 6 figures at auction. Miss your chance today, and tomorrow that same penny could be far beyond reach. Still, some might laugh and say, it's just a penny. But isn't that what they said about Bitcoin once upon a time? Value isn't always about what something is, it's about what it represents. For coin collectors, the 2014 D Lincoln penny represents discovery, luck, and the thrill of finding something rare when you least expect it. Picture this. An average man in Texas sorting through a bag of pennies from his local bank discovers one with a peculiar shine. He nearly dismisses it, almost spends it on a coffee, before curiosity makes him take a closer look. Months later, after certification, that same penny earns him a check for nearly $250,000. That's not fiction. It's a reality that's happened to everyday people just like you. So ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your change? How many treasures have slipped through your fingers unnoticed? The 2014 D penny is more than a collector's item. It's a wake-up call to pay attention to the small things, because hidden value often lies in plain sight. And let's not forget, time plays a huge role. Every year, coins disappear from circulation, damaged, lost, or melted down. The rarer they become, the higher their worth climbs. The 2014 D Lincoln penny might still be a relatively young coin, but history has shown us again and again, rarity plus patience equals wealth. Those who act early, who collect now, are the ones who reap the greatest rewards later. Now here's a little secret from veteran collectors. Many rare finds come from the most unexpected places. Estate sales, garage sales, even coin-counting machine rejects. You'd be amazed at what people overlook. It's like the universe hides treasures in plain sight for those who care to look closer. So here's your challenge. After this video, grab your old coin jar. Take a magnifying glass if you need one, and start hunting. focus on your 2014 D pennies, because one of them might just be the rare variation that turns your pocket change into generational wealth. And even if you don't find one right away, the process itself, learning, searching, understanding history, is rewarding beyond measure. Every coin has a story, and some stories are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The 2014 D Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's proof that fortune still favors the curious, the patient, and the bold. Somewhere out there, another collector is uncovering the next record-breaking coin as we speak. The only question is, will it be you? Before you go digging through your change, make sure to subscribe, because in upcoming videos, we're revealing even more hidden treasures, coins so rare they could completely change your financial future. Don't miss out on your chance to turn small change into big fortune, because as you've just seen, sometimes wealth really does start with a single penny. Imagine holding in your hand what most people dismiss as a single cent, something you'd probably toss into a jar, forget in your car's cup holder, or drop on the ground without a second thought. But what if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking pennies, specifically the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny, could secretly be worth over $215,000, and in rare cases, even millions? Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet it's absolutely true. And before you think, that could never happen to me. Remember, so did everyone else before they cashed in on a life-changing discovery hiding in plain sight. The story of the 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny begins quietly, almost invisibly, just like the coin itself. Millions were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, each designed to carry the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted in honor of honesty, leadership, and the enduring promise of the American dream. To most people, it's just another cent, indistinguishable from the one they got back in change at the grocery store. But in the world of rare coins, the smallest imperfections, the tiniest variations, these are what separate pocket change from priceless treasure. Now here's where things get fascinating. Among the billions of 2015 pennies minted, a select few contain minting errors so rare they defy ordinary logic. Double-die obverse varieties, off-center strikes, planchet anomalies, and even transitional metal mistakes have been reported. These errors are what collectors call happy accidents, and they can turn a 1-cent coin into a small fortune. For example, one near-perfect 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny with a dramatic die crack sold for over $215,000 in a private auction. Think about that. A penny you could easily overlook becoming more valuable than a new Porsche, and it doesn't stop there. Some 2015 pennies feature subtle design irregularities, barely visible to the naked eye, that have numismatists buzzing. A faint doubling around Lincoln's eyes, a distorted liberty, or an irregular strike near the date, can indicate a coin minted under conditions collectors describe as freak occurrences. These are the holy grails of the modern penny world, and demand for them is surging as wealthy collectors and investors race to secure modern rarities before prices skyrocket even higher. But here's where fear creeps in. Most people will never know they had one. They'll spend it, lose it, or let it vanish in a handful of change without ever realizing that they held a financial miracle. That's the tragedy and the opportunity. The 2015 no mint mark Lincoln penny serves as a reminder that fortune favors the observant. Every coin you touch could hold a secret. Every small detail could rewrite your financial story. So how do you know if you have one of these hidden gems? Start by looking closely at your 2015 pennies, specifically those without a mint mark under the date. That missing letter means it was minted in Philadelphia. Examine the coin under bright light or with a magnifying glass. Check for doubling, cracks, or a raised edge on one side. Pay attention to Lincoln's portrait. If it appears ghostly, shifted, or slightly distorted, you could be holding something extraordinary. Collectors have reported examples selling for anywhere from a few $1,000s to 6 figures, depending on condition and rarity. In pristine mint state grades, especially coins graded MS68 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, the price can climb to astronomical levels. Why? Because condition is everything. A flawless coin tells a story of survival, of time standing still in metal form. It's like finding a diamond that never dulled. Now, here's a bit of humor. Somewhere right now, someone's digging through their couch cushions looking for a fortune and blaming their dog for eating their retirement fund. But honestly, that might not be far from the truth. People have found life-changing coins in the most unexpected places. Old jars, forgotten drawers, or tucked away in family heirloom collections. The next one could be you, but don't just rely on luck. Timing and knowledge are your allies. The market for modern rare coins, especially the Lincoln series, is heating up fast. As more collectors realize how limited some 2015 no-mint mark errors truly are, values are poised to soar. It's a perfect storm of scarcity, curiosity, and opportunity. The smart move is to check now, because when the next record sale hits the news, everyone else will be searching, and prices will follow. Here's an insider secret. High-end collectors are increasingly shifting their focus from century-old coins to modern rarities. Why? Because these coins represent the new frontier of numismatics, fresh discoveries, low visibility, and huge potential. The 2015 no-mint mark penny fits that description perfectly. It's modern enough to be accessible, but rare enough to ignite competition among serious investors. When markets move, those who act first reap the rewards. Those who hesitate often look back wishing they hadn't. Still skeptical? Let's put it this way. The same disbelief that stops most people from looking is what keeps the value alive for those who do. The fewer people who search, the rarer your discovery becomes. Imagine the thrill of realizing the change you received from your morning coffee could pay off your mortgage. That's not fantasy. It's happened, and it's happening again as more collectors uncover these rare 2015 no-mint mark treasures. Now, let's paint a picture. You're sitting at your kitchen table one evening, sorting through a small pile of coins you almost ignored. You notice one penny that looks a bit different, a slightly thicker rim, a faint line across Lincoln's shoulder. You pull out your magnifying glass, your heart skips. Could it be? You send it in for grading, and weeks later, you receive the confirmation. Your 1-cent coin is valued at over $200,000. The shock, the disbelief, the excitement. It's the kind of moment that transforms an ordinary day into the beginning of a new life chapter, and here's the cliffhanger most people miss. There are still undiscovered varieties of the 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny out there. Numismatists believe the mint's high-speed production created multiple unrecorded errors that haven't yet been cataloged. That means the next groundbreaking discovery could be waiting in your very own wallet. Every day that passes is a chance slipping away to check. But there's another layer to this story, a deeper message. The value of the 2015 penny isn't just in the metal or the error. It's symbolic of something greater, how opportunity often hides in plain sight, overlooked by those rushing through life. The wealthy don't necessarily find more opportunities. They notice them. They pay attention to details others dismiss. In that sense, the humble penny becomes a metaphor for awareness, patience, and persistence, the true foundations of wealth. So, what should you do now? Start by taking inventory of your coins. Learn what to look for. Join collector forums. Watch verified grading videos. Knowledge compounds just like interest, and one small discovery could become your financial turning point. Because here's the truth. $1,000,000 coins don't appear by magic. They're found by ordinary people who decide to look a little closer, to question the obvious, and to believe that something extraordinary could still happen to them. And when it does, the reward is not just wealth, it's the satisfaction of knowing you saw value where others saw nothing. As we close, remember this. Fortunes don't always come from the stock market or real estate. Sometimes they hide in your pocket. That 2015 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might seem small, but so did every great opportunity before it was recognized. So go ahead, grab that magnifying glass, check those jars, open that forgotten drawer. Because the next coin you find could be the one that changes everything. If this story inspired you, don't let curiosity end here. Subscribe for more hidden wealth discoveries, because the next coin we uncover might just be the one sitting in your hand right now. Keep your eyes open, your pennies close, and your dreams even closer.